pages of our gorgeous Elegant Edges mini album, and these are the next two. So they're quite subtle patterns today, which is quite nice. So we've had some quite strong patterning, but I think this is a really pretty colour, and it's quite nice to change things as you go along, so you can then perhaps use much stronger pattern papers or colours or whatever. So anyway, these are the two that we want to use, and I think it was important for me to bring some of the colours that we used on the previous pages, like the lilacs, etc., through, because to allow for the continuity, because obviously these pages don't have any of those colour in it. So that's what we've got. Now I've done some pre-cutting again just to make it easier, so as I do things I will tell you what I've cut and the sizes, etc., rather than you sitting watching me cut them all out on the Cricut. So we're going to start with this page here. And so we put this one to one side. Okay, so the first thing I did was I cut some of these gorgeous borders from the Elegant Edges cartridge, and I think they're really, really pretty. They were all cut from the Elegant Edges, but I used my gypsy and I slightly changed the shape and the size, but you could just cut them regularly and then just cut to size, just slightly changing the actual thickness, the height of the cut. So this one was at 1 inch, this was at 0.85, so you probably could do that at 0.75 if you didn't have a gypsy. And then I've got the smaller one, which I did at 0.65, so again you could probably do that at 0.5 and that would work fine. And then we've got two more as well. So what this is going to be doing is making us a cute little border. And you need to start at the bottom, I think. Okay, and we're just going to place that till we get it where we want. It may be easier to use our movable adhesive. And then the last piece is going to be about there, so we're going to have to fiddle around with this one. So what I want is these in between the other ones to create like a lacy border. So what we're going to have to do is just going to stick these three together before we put it on here to make it a bit easier. So I think the best thing is to put a little adhesive on here and a little bit on here, or maybe no, just on the top here perhaps. Let's have a look. Yeah, so if we put a tiny bit of adhesive just along the back, as long as we use the one that's actually got adhesive in, and then we can just pop this down so that it's in the middle like that. Okay, and then we're going to take the next one and do the same, so just a small bit of adhesive in the middle there, and then just take that, and I want that one, if I can stop it moving, to be there, to create just this kind of lacy border. And then we're going to chop that to size, but first I'm just going to see where it will go. Okay, so I fiddled about with that because I put it down like that because I wanted it to lay into those scallops, so I've popped it down like so. So that's those two borders done, and what I've got is two boxes that I cut also from the Elegant Edges cartridge, and it's actually the same button, it's just a different feature key. So we've got that, and the first one is 3.25 and the second one is 1.75. So we're going to pop these, that one is to go like so, and I think I'm going to put a nice background paper to these, and then this one is going like so. So what I want to do is, one, put some background cards so that these lovely loops show, but also I think we need some sort of ribbon or something along these edges. So I think first of all I'm going to put these on their background card. So the question is what colour. Now I'm thinking, because I know what's coming on the opposite page, that it would be good to use this really dark purple. It's not going to show, it looks like it's like really strong colour, but it's not going to show that much because we're going to put it right behind. So I'm just going to use my glue pen And then I'm going to do the same with this one, but first we're just going to cut this using our scissors. Okay, so that's those two done, and I think that looks really nice, and then that just lifts it off the page when you put it down, and you can see the dark purple isn't like overpowering because there's so little of it, which is going to be that way around. So I think next we need to pop our lace border down. Now we need to cut along this edge nice and straight, so I'm just going to do a little snip. It's going to be about there, I think, so let's just cut along the edge because we don't want to be in those holes. I think we could still take another little smidge off. Try that. That's better. Okay, so now we're going to stick that down. Again, just using the glue pen or your ATG. And then just along the edge, pop a bit of your glue. There we go. And pop that in position. Perfect. And then the same up the top here. Very pretty. I think it just looks like a lovely kind of lace, but it's kind of all in keeping, which is really nice. So now we need some ribbon. Okay, so I've got this gorgeous lace that's got this lovely little purple trim to it. And what I thought I would do is fold it over so it makes kind of a double border there, and pop that down there, so that brings the darker colour in, and I think it then brings the real lace look to that lacy border that we've already created. So I'm just going to cut this to size first because it's going to be easier to do it that way, I think. Maybe we can get away with cutting it afterwards, but let's see if that's correct. I think that's close enough by the time we've then can cut the rest off. So then I'm going to just use a little bit of my tape pen, hopefully, and just pop it on the inside of the lace and then fold that over to where I want it to be to stick it down. Okay, need a bit more. The problem is you can't actually see if it's laid it down. Try that. That's better, that's definitely sticky now. There we go. Just making sure that it's an even fold, we don't want it all wonky. There we go. Isn't that pretty? And then we're going to take that and stick that to here. So I'm going to put the adhesive on my actual page. I think that'll be simpler. Hopefully I haven't just done that too wide because it went a bit far. No, that'll be fine. And then just pop that in position, lining up on this edge with that edge, and then going all the way across like so, and sticking that down. And if there's any excess adhesive, just roll it off with your finger. That looks fine. What I'm finding is there's a little bit of adhesive coming through, I think. Oh, it's okay. Alright, now then just taking this, and you can see that, and then we're just going to cut along that shape so that it fits nicely down that edge. So that's that piece done, and I think that looks really pretty. I'm really pleased with that. So now we're going to cut another piece for the top. Looks so pretty. Absolutely so pretty. I think that really finishes that off lovely. Okay, and then the next thing we need to do is put our little mats on, making sure that the pattern's the right way up. So that one goes like so. Not too much, and then this one's just straight. I want it nice over, and then that one there like so. And I think that would be quite nice to put that on, this one on flat, but I think we're going to need to use our glue gel because it's not going to be precisely flat because of this piece of lace and stuff at the top and bottom. So I'm going to use the glue gel to stick that down. Okay, so actually what I've decided to do is use some foam tape, just a small, sort of not too thick, for this one here. So we're just going to put a couple of pieces in the middle here, and then some of my tape pen adhesive around the edges, because that's going to sit top and bottom anyway, so that should work. So just peel those off. And we want that kind of like so. Lovely. And then this piece, I've got some thicker foam tape for one side. So we pop that down the edge, and then just a bit of this adhesive. No, we don't want to put that on actually, because if they're putting their photograph in, you want to leave that edge free so they can do that. So you don't want to stick that down. So I'm just going to use my foam adhesive and pop that in position like so. And then that's not straight, hold on. There we go. So that's that done like that. So that looks really pretty. Okay, now I want to put one of these Kyoshi flowers on, and we've got this gorgeous lilac-y one, which I'm just trying to peel off. Now I think we're going to need to put some foam tape under that, because otherwise it's going to be not high enough. So I'm just taking a little piece that I'd already torn, and I'm going to pop that in position on my page so that it, like that, and then we can place that like so. I think that looks just so pretty. And then the last thing I want to do on this page is just put a couple of gems in the corners of our mats there. It's lovely lilac, so we're just going to use these, and we've got some little smaller ones here for the smaller mat. So just gently pop that up, position that, just using my pokey tool here. Whoops. And I think that just makes a difference. I just think that looks so pretty. And then I've got some larger ones for the corners here, but I'm just thinking whether I want to do square instead. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that looks nice, the square. And there we go. Okay, so that's that page done, and I think that looks really pretty. So now we're going to do its opposite number. So you can see we've brought a lot of the purple through on this page, and I think that was important because the whole thing is purples, greens, oranges, pinks. So we've got some of the orange, we've got all the different colours sort of coming through. On this page, which is a very plain page, we're going for this lovely purple, and I've cut this out again using the Elegant Edges cartridge, and it was done at 4.75, and you need to do the two different layers. Now what you do end up with is this circle extra. Now you could cut this again and have another circle, but I am actually thinking of leaving that circle in, maybe just popping that in place, but we'll see how we go. So the first thing I need to do is stick my layer down onto my card base, or the circle base. So we're just going to use my glue stick. Okay, so that's there. Now I'm looking at it with our other page to decide. Now what I've got is this lovely little butterfly, which is to go in here, and I thought that would look really pretty, but I'm now wondering if I want something else instead. I'm not sure about all that dark, you see. I'm thinking that looks just a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my circle centre and I'm going to pop that up on 3D foam so it gives it some dimension, which is really cool. and just peel these pieces off the back. Okay, and then just, let's move that out of the way, place that down. There's a little notch on there, let's just get rid of that. There we go. And then just put that in position. Now you could ink around the edges if you wanted to. I don't. Okay. And then on here, so we've done that. I think that looks really effective. Then on this piece we need to put some coloured paper. Okay, so down this side I'm going to take a piece of this lovely coloured paper and pop that in position. So I'm just going to use my tape pen, and we'll have to cut some of this off around the edges, but this is just to start with. So we're just going to place this as close to the holes as we can, like so, and then just taking the other side and flipping over and cutting that piece off like so. And I think that's just bringing some of that colour through. And then I've got a piece of ribbon which I just want to pop down that side as well. So again, I'm just going to take my glue tape pen and just run along the back of that, place that along that edge, and that just covers that edge up, and then again flip it over and just snip off the excess of the ribbon. There we go. So that's bringing all that into place. I decided that this purple piece of card that I'd put on the centre here, I didn't like it just being plain, so I've put a piece of the green stripy paper on, which kind of brings in the green across again a bit more, because we've ended up with quite a lot of purple on this side. So I'm now going to, before I put this on, I want to make sure, because it's stripes, I need to make sure this is in the right direction. So I'm just going to pop this in position because I want that level with there. So then I can take my stripy paper circle and pop that down. Like so. And I think that just looks a little bit better, looks a bit more in keeping. Okay, so then I'm going to just take my circle, and I'm going to use some of this red tape because the circle's got quite a bit on it and I want to make sure that it stays put. So we're just going to pop this on with the red tape. That's that done. So now we just need to remember to position this correctly. So we want that scallop lining up. Let's do it this way for you so you can see because of the shadows. So we want that scallop lining up there. So it kind of makes, and I took a lot of effort when I did it on my gypsy to try and make sure this was the right size to fit these scallops pretty much accurately. Okay, so the next thing we've got is a butterfly, and I cut this from the Elegant Edges, and I used the blackout feature so that it didn't have any of the little holes. And I've used the card that was the base card for over here, so that again links these two up really nicely, just to bring that in. So I'm going to pop that on there. And this is really more for journaling, I think, than a picture, but it could be anything. And I might even just pop him down here. Actually, I think we'll put that there. Looks very pretty. Yes, that's what we'll do. Okay, so I'm just going to get a little bit of tape down the centre of my butterfly, and I want to put a little bit of thickness on the sides, so we're going to use a little bit of foam tape. Got this nice little thin pieces of tape, so just cut a piece off, put that down, not too far out because otherwise it will show, but then that will just keep the wings lifted, so that, because you can do it without this, but what happens is the wings get squashed and then people don't know to pop the wings up if you've given them to as a gift and they're not a crafter or whatever. So whereas this way it keeps the wings popped up all the time, even if the book's closed or your card is in an envelope or whatever. So I think that works quite well. So I'm just going to pop that in place. Yeah, that way. Like so. Oops. that down there, like so. Okay, then we want obviously some gems in the middle of the body to make the body part of him. So we're just going to use these lovely purple gems again. And we're going to use a couple of those along. If we move that down, we should get 3. So that's our butterfly, and that looks really pretty, I think. Okay, and I think it would be nice to put something in here, and I was looking and I'm just thinking whether to put gems or some stickles just to give it a bit of a lift. So I've decided to go with some stickles, and we've got this grape ice, which you can see is really pretty colour, and I think it's quite in keeping. So literally all I'm going to do is take the stickles and fill in this hole, and I think this is what we did on the front cover actually, because we had a similar shape and we just filled this in with some stickles, and we haven't done a lot of glitter on this, and I think it just looks really pretty. And it will flatten down a bit, but it just looks really effective, I think. Just gives that bit of sparkle. Look, isn't that pretty? I think what would be nice is just a little bit, if you just put a little piece on your finger and then just gently dab around the wings. Just to give that a little extra something. There we go. Very pretty, look. Okay, so the last thing I did was I just added a little bit of the stickles to our button there, just to bring that sparkle across, to link it all together, because you want your 2 pair of pages to link together nicely. So anyway, that's our pages for today. I hope you've enjoyed making these with me, and I'd love to hear your comments, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.